After taking 3 days to get here, we finally arrived at the Atacama Desert. One of the reasons why it took so long to actually get here is you have to fly into Calama, which is a really small airport, and then take an hour-and-a-half shuttle here to San Pedro de Atacama. We booked our tickets for the shuttle ahead of time, but when we showed up, there's quite a few different shuttle services, and ours left an hour-and-a-half late. So you could easily just show up, go to any one of the kiosks that are there, and catch the quickest shuttle that's leaving right away. So this city actually just pops up randomly in the middle of the desert after driving for the hour-and-a-half to get here. It's very popular for tours because you can catch every tour to go anywhere in the desert here. Bike rentals is really big, and we're on the main street right now, which is it's very busy. Lots of people are out walking around, and there's lots of shops here. We're just looking for something to eat right now, and to be honest, we'll check out the different prices because due to the fact that this place is so remote, everybody has to come here if they want to go into the desert and get a tour. So they kind of have the ability to charge whatever they want for anything. Just off the main street, we found Estrella Negra, which is a vegan restaurant, and we were able to get 2 lunches, a bowl, and a sandwich, and a coffee, which came to just under 21,000 Chilean pesos. The hostel that we're staying at, we're supposed to be able to get a deal on bikes, so we're gonna go try to find the bike rental place and then actually bike into the desert. We just found the place that was suggested to us, so we're gonna find out how expensive it is, and it closes at 9:30, so we also don't know how long you can rent them actually for. Could we rent bikes? The route we're supposed to take is about 20 kilometers or so, and there's quite a few different things that you can stop at. We're trying to go to the Valley de la Muerta, which also has sandboarding and some sand dunes. A few rules here that you have to have on when you're riding the bikes. You have to wear these pennies, I guess you could say. You're not allowed to ride your bike on the main street. You have to walk it, and you obviously get a helmet. So this is the bike I got. I had to pay 12,000 because they didn't have any smaller bikes that I fit, and we have it for 6 hours. Smaller bikes are 8,000. You can also pay and rent for e-bikes, which are considerably more expensive, but if you're trouble biking that far, it would be a pretty good idea. Had to quickly stop to fix my bike seat. We just left town. We're on the way to the Valley of Death. 8,000 feet here, so you could definitely feel it, definitely short of breath just biking. Took altitude medication because last time I was in Peru, I got really sick at Machu Picchu. So I'm feeling pretty good right now, so I think the meds may work. It was about a 10-minute bike. You have to go along the highway, and then you get to like an entrance where I believe you have to pay. So it's 6,000 each to get in, and you have to use a credit card. We only had cash, but luckily the guy let us use his credit card, and we just paid him cash. This is like a constant setting throughout this place of like these valleys and then high mountains and super dry and sandy everywhere. There are cars that drive on this, but biking's a lot better, but it is a bumpy ride, so you kind of have to be careful. From the highway, you can see these huge dunes in the distance, and once you like kind of snake your way around, you actually come to them, and they're incredible. Like, this is a spot where people are sandboarding, so there's a bit of a stop here for cars and kind of like a little, I guess, booth for bikes to chill in and get them some shade. But there's about 7 people up there. Oh, here comes the guy right now. And I'm assuming you must be able to do this on a tour. Oh, hit a rock. I guess there's a few hidden rocks, just like every hill in Canada. The trail continues all the way up this hill and kind of goes where you can kind of see like a bit of a valley in there. So that's like another probably kilometer We were told that this is supposed to be like a nice and flat trail, but it's not really that flat, but it is pretty gorgeous. So we're gonna head back because we're kind of pushing the envelope with the altitude here. And we've seen the dunes and the desert. We just returned the bikes. It was a 2-hour trip, no problems, and it was awesome. We did about almost made it to the end. We just decided to turn back because we kind of had our fill, and we saw the dunes, and it was awesome trip. Here in San Pedro de Atacama, we're staying at Hostel de Kirkir in a small little room, just a double bed bathroom, and we have a pool right off our window for the summer months. And it comes with breakfast in the morning. There's no heating though. It's kind of a common thing here in Chile. So we asked for an extra blanket. Good morning. We just rented a car from West Car Rental. It costs about 69,000 Chilean pesos, and we're going to the Puritama hot springs, but we're going to kind of do our own thing and not go to the one where you have to buy a ticket. We arrived at Purilibre, which is a parking lot off the highway where you can just walk down to go towards the Puritama thermal baths. So this is a free area to go, and you can just walk down, and then you find them once you get down there. So the hike down is all rocks, loose rocks and sand, so it's a little slippery, so you have to be careful. And it all said, kind of reviews that we read, said don't bring flip-flops or don't wear flip-flops. Definitely need decent shoes. There is like you kind of have to scale a bit of a rock face here, which we also read about. So it is not bad. There's definitely an easy path to follow. And at this point, we're at 12,000 feet elevation, which is almost 4,000 feet higher than San Pedro de Atacama. This is the first pool that we came across after we scaled down the kind of the rock face there. Water is supposed to get up to 31 degrees apparently. It's warm. It's like lukewarm, by no means 31 degrees. But it's supposed to be warmer as you get closer to the actual Puritama hot springs. And this is like the most green we've seen everywhere actually in the Atacama Desert from yesterday and today. And these foxtails are what they're called, are amazing. And we've seen them along the highway, obviously where there's more water, but you're supposed to be able to walk through them along the path. The path just follows the water, but you have to cut through like these it's pretty overgrown, but it's pretty easy to actually follow through. You can just push your way through. We just found the bridge, or maybe one of the bridges that we were looking for, and it kind of cuts through across the actual stream. So this water is supposed to have like some holistic properties. It's full of sodium, magnesium, boron, and calcium. And apparently it's good for the body and the mind. So I don't know if this is actually warmer. This is a lot warmer compared to where we were at the beginning. So maybe we can find a spot to swim. This valley is pretty amazing though. And once you get off that main rock that we just parked above, it's a pretty easy cruise. But you could understand why it's free, simply because you have to scale down that rock face. Just found another good pool you could swim in. I'm not going to swim yet because I don't have a wet bathing suit for the entire hike and get totally chafed. The one thing about the Atacama Desert that someone has to note is that the UV is insanely high. The fact that it's close to the equator, there's never very rarely any clouds. High altitude and low humidity creates a very high UV index. All right, I found a spot. I'm gonna jump back in. We are on our way back, and this is probably the best spot to swim. We're just gonna figure out how to actually get in there. I made it in. It's not warm. It's not warm at all, but it is like, it's not cold at all either though. It's actually a nice temperature, so There's actually even like a little waterfall here. There's like a good current. So I gotta like force my way up. Oh, there we go. I'm in like a pit. I'm getting my dose of boron. All right, so that was a success. We're actually in the Valley of the Cactus, so our next stop, there's a better spot where you can see all these cactuses, which are in like kind of a similar valley. So we're gonna go check that out now. Valley de los Cactus is about like 2 minutes from the town of Guatan, I believe it's called. And there's a dirt road that's off the main highway with a sign. We'll put this sign up. And there's just supposed to be a lot of cactuses along the ravine here. So right away you can see the cactuses, and they're peppered throughout the entire valley. This is free, but I would suggest anyone download an online map, because once you get into this area there's no data or any reception. We don't have anything, we didn't do a lot of research about this spot because we kind of found it randomly, and I thought the cactuses were kind of small, like kind of the ones earlier back there, but some of them are massive. We came into this section where like they're huge and they're all the way up, and as we go around the corner there seems to be a lot more actual bigger ones. So definitely worth coming to check this spot out. The trail is a little rugged, so I would leave Grandma in the car if you came with her. Actually, Grandma could come from if she didn't want to stay in the car, because you could walk along the ravine and it's pretty smooth. She just said couldn't trek up to go see all the cactuses up there. Our next stop is the Hidden Lagoons of Baltinache, which is about a little under an hour from San Pedro. We read that the roads there are supposed to be horrendous, but the lady at the rental car agency said actually it's not that bad and the car should make it no problem. It's just the last little portion, about 10 minutes, is supposed to be a little rough. So we'll find out once we get there. We just made it to the Baltinache pools. The roads were really not that bad. The last 2 kilometers a little rough, but everywhere else was just, the whole way here was fine. This place is closed from 1:30 to 2:30, so you have to get a ticket to get in. And there seems to be a lot of confusion as to where you get the ticket. A lot of people are standing around. It costs $12,000 each for a ticket to get in. You also have to sign a waiver saying you're resolving them of all liability of any rocks that hit you in the face or in the eye, or if there's any damage to your car or anything like that. So just because like the wind has been like ridiculous here. So after where you get your ticket, it's like a 2-minute drive, and then there's only one parking lot, and you're at the first lagoon, and then you can walk to a bunch along a pathways that bring you to the other ones. So we're gonna go see what the first one looks like. And the wind is absolutely ripping through here. These pools have an insane salinity, so when you're swimming in them, you float, similar to like in the Dead Sea. And the reason why this was formed is that the ocean was here millions of years ago, and it evaporated, leaving these kind of salt flats and small areas where water still pooled. The trick here is to come here for 2:30. The ladies that work the desk are on lunch from 1:30 to 2:30, and there was only about 3 or 4 cars when we got here. So this is the path that takes you from lagoon to lagoon, and it's all salt. And then I guess that would be the second lagoon. You're not supposed to go over there, but you can kind of see it's a lot smaller. And you can't swim in this one. No swimming. But it's a pretty set path, so very easy to follow. Apparently you can only swim in the last lagoon. So we can't actually walk out there, but as you can see, I'm trying to put this high enough to get a picture of the blue. But it's like a aqua blue color. But you're not allowed to kind of leave the walkway here and head out there. Is that all the signs say no pasar? It's just another bit of a bigger lagoon, and the reason why it's so blue is obviously just because it's such a contrast with the blue on white, so it stands out quite a bit more. Okay, we made it to the 7th lagoon, and you are allowed to swim here. There's a few rules, like no, you can't have any alcohol or drugs or food or anything in the water, but you can jump in. So the water is actually pretty cold. We're here in August, so I'm sure it gets probably even colder maybe in the mornings after this hasn't been any sun. It's like you just like stay on top, and you're only allowed to be in the water for 20 minutes, the lady said, at the max, because I guess it's so salty that it ends up dehydrating you. And I just had a little bit go in my mouth. It's very salty. And there's actually a guy that is like a lifeguard, I guess. He was sleeping, but he woke up. We made it all the way back from the last lagoon back to the beginning, and like look how salty I am. Like my shorts are pure salt. My legs like are just crusty. And like my shirt didn't even get wet. This is just from water landing on it that I used to kind of wipe myself because I didn't have a towel. Crazy. Well, that's it for here in the Atacama Desert. We'll see you next week when we cross over to Bolivia.